The moments that last forever go beyond what we see on the court.
You are the Finals MVP.
These moments start with the ball, a dream, and a relentless will to win. They're the culmination of every effort put into the game since they first stepped on the court. All of those moments have led to this one. NBA 2K26. Ball over everything.
But maybe the biggest news of the week for you all was, of course, about early access. In case you didn't see it, this year's early access, if you get the Superstar Edition or the Leave No Doubt Edition, will begin on August 29th. That is a whole week before launch on September 5th.
So I'm just going to say it. The fact that you get 1 week early access is absolutely huge. And for anyone that is making content or taking this game seriously and trying to, just trying to be ahead of the curve, you're going to get the early access. You got to buy the $100 version, bare minimum. But do not buy the $150 version. It doesn't include League Pass anymore, and you're only getting 35K extra VC. It's totally not worth it. Please save your money and just get the $100 version with Melo on it. You'll thank me later.
So today, what we want to share is that one of the dev team's themes was ensuring a skill-based gameplay experience where you feel more in control and you feel that what you're doing on the sticks, on the controller, is more reflected by what you're seeing on your screen.
Good.
And that is an overall theme. So you're going to feel it across shot outcomes, blocks, steals, loose balls, rebounds, and more across just how gameplay feels this year. Now, Stacks, I know we can't leave the community here with a broad theme and no detail, so there are a couple things that we can say today. So listen closely.
Obviously, they're not going to show any.
The first
gameplay.
one, higher difficulties are going to play with green or miss jump shot timing. Now, when we say higher difficulties, that includes most competitive multiplayer modes that many of you all play. So in those modes, you're not going to see early or late releases going in on those difficulties, which I think is a very welcome news to many of you.
We love that.
Second thing, the shot meters and the dunk meters are both going to show you your green windows in 2K26. That was a point of feedback that came up a lot, and even as the year went on, I kept seeing that many weren't getting used to the new 2K25 shot meters, especially slashers gave that feedback a lot. So in 2K26, the meters are going to have the green windows again.
But I'm really glad
One more
the green
thing here.
window is back.
Layup timing
actually
is
back
going
in.
to be permanently enabled in multiplayer modes. So that means you're not going to be seeing real player percentage layups go over you anymore with someone that's just tapping a button. All the layups need to be timed in those modes. But
again, I'll just reiterate, I was talking over him a little bit. You can't, there's no real player percentage on layups anymore. We love that. Again, we're all about skill base, skill gap. We want our games to be competitive and to bring out the best of us. We want it to be tough. We want our games to be difficult. We want to learn and grow.
Those of you who are newer to the game, we do want to clarify that you shouldn't think that you aren't going to be able to make a layup anymore. Because this is not meant to make it really hard for you to make your open layups, but rather to separate the really good finishers from the weaker ones, and definitely to make sure that there's more skill involved. So those are the three things that we have to share for gameplay for now. Green or miss shot timing, green windows on the shot meter and dunk meter, and layup timing being enabled.
Absolutely
so
massive.
Hopefully those are all good news to you. I see the chat is happy, it seems. It seems like they are. And there is a lot more that we will be sharing later when we do our full gameplay breakdown. But for now, you'll have to be patient, and the details will come here before you know it. Obviously, one of the first things many of you do in 2K is you go into the builder and you experiment, right? That is such an important part of every 2K for you. And the dev team has taken time to add more previews and more quality of life improvements to that process. So there's going to be multiple things that we can talk about later, but one example that we can share today of what that might mean is a nice little addition that you can now preview the body types that you'll be able to unlock right from inside the builder. Because
I know this didn't really affect me, but some of my friends, when they were making very specific player builds, they wanted to make them look like that player. So this is actually huge. This is a huge time saver for anyone actually doing that small tinkering when it does matter. 2K's listening, guys. 2K's actually fucking listening to us. Let's give them a little bit of props. Let's
I've
go.
seen many people
I'm
make
not
a
a
build,
shill, but
they save it, then they go and
they're
check the body
listening.
types, and then if it doesn't have the ones they want, they back out, tweak it a little bit, check again, and repeat. That's kind of time consuming.
They realize
so
their asses
you will not have to do that
on the
anymore.
chopping
You will be
block.
able to see the body types before you are done with your build. And that is just one example of some of the improvements to the builder, some of the quality of life upgrades that we're going to talk about more later in the summer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So another one that I see here, staying on the topic of the My Player Builder, is fresh playstyles year round. Okay, well, let's talk about that a little bit. Fresh playstyles.
Yeah, so of all the feedback this year, it has been consistent that many people in the community love Capbreaker, right? In case you weren't locked into 2K25, you don't know what that is. What Capbreakers do is they allow you to improve your build even after you finish making it. So you can make the attributes even better, and then that unlocks the badges and animations, and then your build continues to stay fresh. So today, we can confirm that Capbreakers will be back in 2K26, and there will also be other new ways to improve your builds and earn those Capbreakers that we're going to talk about soon.
So you heard it here. Capbreakers are back. Anyone that knows how to work this builder, you're gonna think ahead, and we know the Capbreakers in, so we're planning for the future. Me personally, my first build is gonna start with 94 driving dunk, but be able to eclipse all the way up to 99, so that way I can max it out, do whatever I want, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Think about it as you're able to evolve your build later on in the year through grinding and a little bit of effort. I'm excited to see him back. I know some people called it pay to win. It is a little bit of pay to win because it's in the battle pass. I understand the tug of war, but you still have to kind of grind unless you're just spending crazy amounts of money on tier skips. So I'm okay with it. I enjoy it. It keeps the game
The other
fresh.
thing that I saw a lot of positive feedback on this year was the takeover system, where you have 5
Takeover
levels
was
that
great.
heat up automatically.
Huge
You don't need to
addition.
activate it manually, and then a takeover ability at level 5. That system at its core is back, but it is
We
more
love
in
that.
depth now. So there are some new mechanics, and the progression is also streamlined. So unlocking takeovers and the pure amount of takeovers and special abilities or takeover abilities, that is not going to be as intimidating anymore in 2K26. So we're going to talk about takeovers and Capbreaker soon, but for now, they are back and they are much improved.
So what they're doing is they took a really good builder that they're improving and a really good takeover system that they're improving, and they're merging them together. The way you use your Capbreakers, you can make your build crazy. You're still going to have small gaps in places, but that's where the takeovers come in absolutely massive. So those takeovers, like let's say you're trying to make a big that needs rebounding. You still want to be able to dunk. Maybe you want to still driving dunk and shoot threes, and you still want maybe like a 65 or a 60 ball handle. You can do all that, or even a 70 ball handle. You can do all that, but you're not going to have 99 rebounding. But what you can do is you can get maybe around 92, and then you can use that takeover to boost it all the way up to 99, along with maybe like strength and block, or whatever takeover you were going to use. It gives you 3 stats of +8 in each category. Absolutely massive. I love to hear that both these systems are coming back with improvements and are streamlined. Huge W for 2K. Let's keep going.
Next up for my team, we also have King of the Court, presented by AT&T. Let's lock in. I know a lot of my team fans are excited for this one, so let's hear what we got.
Yes, my team players, I want you to pay attention to this one because I know you're going to like it. But there's 2 things here to cover. One of the biggest points of my team feedback that we've heard this past year is how King of the Court was only for a few hours on Saturdays. So if you were out of the house, maybe you work on Saturdays, or maybe you're just in a different time zone where those 4 hours were in the middle of the night for you, and you probably couldn't consistently participate, right? We get that. So in 2K26, the dev team has worked on making King of the Court more accessible. Now it is going to take place across the entire weekend to give you more opportunity to play. But the other thing about King of the Court is a very big one. Because in addition to competing for big amounts of VC, The winner across PlayStation 5 and Xbox each weekend is also going to be competing for a cash prize of $10,000. So, we are going to share more details about all of that. But in
Man.
short, there will be a cash prize for King of the Court winners in my team on the weekends. I am very, very excited for this. I hope our
10K.
competitive community feels similarly. Even now, very often
10K
I'll come
each
across
weekend,
like a My
bruh.
Team YouTube channel or social.
This is the moment where all the comp players, they take my team just that much more seriously. I mean, shit, I might have to play a little bit of my team, just see if I can get on that King of the Court. 10K a weekend, bro. 10K a weekend.
Account or something, and they still have like NBA 2K23, 250K qualifier, something like that in their bio. So I am hoping to see some great
Might have to
streams,
go
some
crazy.
great videos on the weekends from the King of the
Might
Court
have
this
to
year.
go crazy. Content might
Hey
be.
man, huge shout out to
Wild.
AT&T.
Don't forget that there is a 2K26 challenge that's available right now in 2K25. So you have to use SGAs and Mellows cards.
Listen to
And
him.
by the way, if you don't have those cards, you can get them with that locker code right there on the right side of your screen.
Mellow, Angel
And if
Reese.
you complete that challenge, you get not only an invincible Devin Booker in 2K25,
I wouldn't have said
but you
I
also
watched
get a
this
Series
without,
1 option pack
you know,
and
for
a
you
mystery
without you
special
needed
pack
to, without
waiting
filling
for
you in on the
in
lock
2K26.
codes. We got them
So
still.
we will tell you a bit more
Check
about
'em
what
out.
that special
I'll let
pack
you
is when we do
pause
the My Team Court
to
set
type
reports.
that in,
But I
but
don't think I've seen anybody
gonna
make an
move
accurate
on.
prediction yet. But at the same time, I can't see everything. So just wanted to make sure that you guys do that challenge so that you're not passing up on some extra rewards. Or 2K26. But that is it for my team. What do you have next, Dex? My career is a really important mode to us because so many of you love playing in your NBA careers.
Okay.
Makes sense, right? Who doesn't want to make themselves, put them on an NBA team? It's fun. So this year, the dev team has spent time building out a full prelude story that is called Out of Bounds. Title of it? Now, we're not going to spoil how the story goes, of course, but what we can say is that there are now more consequences to the story games and your choices. So,
okay.
for example,
at least they're trying to
if you
make
got
it more
a game
interesting.
and your goal is to outshine your opponent, but you fail, your agent might not be able to get you the best opportunities because you didn't pass those objectives.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also,
We'll see.
where
We'll
will
see
you
how
go in the
how people are
NBA
feeling that
draft? It
night.
look like the draft is back.
Well, ultimately, you want to get drafted to the NBA, right? I don't think that's a spoiler. I can say that. The draft is also an area in my career where I've seen brought up a lot in feedback because it seems like half the community wants to get drafted and half want to pick their team so that they can go to the Lakers and play with LeBron and Luka. Or if you're like Stacks, picking the Knicks, of course, playing with Brunson over there. But our dev team has done the best of both worlds in 2K26. So this year, you can be drafted based on your performance and how well you fit each team, or you could also bet on yourself. You can pick a team to do a private workout for and try to convince them to draft you instead. So the decision is up to you whether you want to get drafted or pick your team. And I think it's a pretty nice solution to that feedback where we saw both ends, people who wanted to get drafted and people who wanted to pick their team. Now you can do what you want.
Oh, that's
Okay,
pretty cool.
I
That's
mean,
pretty cool.
I don't know how you guys feel, but I think that's a W. The fact that they give you both options. I know personally, I'm gonna play to just get drafted wherever. Actually, hang on. Now that I think about it, I do want to be number one specifically, so I might pick a team where I can be number one because I'm gonna be Terrence Shannon, TJ Shannon.
Cool. Not gonna lie, I like that.
My first build.
This is a reminder: the full My Career reveal will be the week of August 18th.
During our Q&As, people were asking about an unranked option. So we didn't do that last year, but this year we do have that. And in the unranked version of MyGM, you have a lot more freedom. So you can import custom rosters, draft classes, essentially really fine tune your settings. So last year, if you thought MyGM looked cool, you were interested,
That's cool.
but you got turned off by the lack of customization, we think you'll really like this one.
I hope there's I can have an online
And
league.
the
though.
full My NBA reveal will be the week of August 18th. And lastly, but certainly not least, we have the city. Let's dive in there. See, we got some heat to
Could
talk
we
about.
forget about the city? Because in years past, we've heard the feedback about how intimidating the city was, right? We talked about this before, and 2K25 was a huge step to actioning on that feedback. I think I personally noticed it right away this past year, and I think much of the community did as well. Now, we want to get you on the court faster. So this year in 2K26, without showing you the city, because we can't do that just yet, how I would describe it is it's even more intimate, it's even more accessible, and you can get wherever you want to go really quickly to further build on that big shift last year. So if you've heard the words the city come up before and you thought about that really big map with streets and turns everywhere,
It's like the neighborhood.
that is not how the city is now, and I think you're going to really like the one in 2K26. All of you in the community love to flex. When we get into August, something you can expect to hear about are multiple new ways of how we're putting a spotlight on players. And one that we thought we would be cool to talk about today, as an example, it's not too big of a spoiler, is our new mode leaderboards. So these rank players by the most wins in places like the theater and the rec. And the cool thing is the top player each day is going to have a big 12-foot statue of their My Player built outside of that mode's building. So if you are the number one player that day, whenever somebody walks in, you are going to be looking down on them, kind of intimidating them. So that is just one example. We can't talk about the other new additions here just yet, but you will hear more very soon later in the summer, because the park is getting a lot of love in 2K26. And we want to call out now that the new designs are focused on more natural and more grounded environments.
Hell yes.
The feedback about what direction many of you want to see the park environments go in, that has been heard. So this year you can expect to see designs like ones that are more similar to courts that maybe you might see in the real world. Maybe in your cities or neighborhoods, you might see courts like these. And one more thing here on visuals is that there are also new lighting improvements and a fixed time of day. And the benefit of that is that it should reduce the amount of harsh shade and harsh sunlight that you may have noticed in the past when you were playing. Both of those things, I am sure, are very welcome news. I keep seeing those brought up. So, Stacks, I hope the community is happy with them. I see a lot of W's in the chat. That is something that we've been waiting to say for a while, that the scenery in the park is going to be more natural and more grounded.
Somewhat realistic.
And the lighting improvements should make the harsh shade and the harsh sunlight a little bit more accessible for you all, less of a bother. That was still kind of cool, but Stacks, that is going to do it for our sneak peek. I think the community got some nice little information here. What do you think?
It's huge.
That's a huge for sure. And just keep in mind, guys, all of what we spoke about, what Evan spoke about today, is just a sneak peek, right? We're going to get deeper into all of these things and the dates that we mentioned. And as far as the park goes or the city goes, the full reveal will be the week of August 25th. So keep that in mind.
If you made it all the way to this part of the video, I'd like to say thank you for watching. Hopefully you found some information that you were looking for. Drop a like. Drop a comment on what you're most excited about for these changes coming up to 2K26. And maybe let me know what kind of build you're making. And I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good day.